We have new old champions and quite a lot to catch up with as far as New Japan goes in general. But we had the Tokyo Dome show, the Wrestle Grand Slam, that was rescheduled once. We had a main event that had to be changed from the original main event due to illness of Kota Ibushi. So that was a bit of a change, but it ended up being an awesome match. And we have some other championship matches to talk about prior to Grand Slam, but we will get to that. But overall, I thought it was a fun show, even though, we had, 6 matches total on the show. And even though the last 2 matches were almost 40 minutes each, they actually went relatively fast.
Yeah, but I thought that this was a really good show. The Rambo was the Rambo, but like the main card, I thought those were all really strong matches that delivered, and I thought the main event was something really special, and yeah, I thought the show was a complete win.
Yeah, and everybody was shitting on the Rambo before I saw it, and it wasn't nearly as bad as they made it out to be.
I mean, it was like it was the Rambo with handcuffs. It was like, it was the Rambo. It's whatever. You just kind of accept it. And I think that, I don't know. I think those are like sometimes, a lot of times, like if I just need something fun for background noise, I will put on like a Royal Rumble or a New Japan Rambo or one of those types of matches, or like the Honor Rumble from Madison Square Garden. I'll probably watch that 10 times just because it's. Those matches are fun, but yeah, the main card I thought was very, very strong.
Yeah, I've seen Royal Rumbles that were way worse than this Rambo.
Oh yeah, 1999 for.
So we'll go back a little bit to a few other title matches. I don't know if you have any notes on them, but that's perfectly fine. But we'll zip through them. But let's set this up. You're listening to the That's Wrestling podcast. If you're listening as a podcast, we do this show live over on Twitch and on YouTube. So you can find the links to the channels in the show notes. So you can come hang out with us when we do these shows live. Comments, questions, feedback, you can send those to Eric at that'swrestling.com. There is a link to our Discord as well, so you can come hang out with us. And I believe that's pretty much it. So back with me once again is Trae Wisecarver. We have not touched on New Japan since Dominion, so it's been over a month.
Yeah, I took a couple of weeks off because I was going to try to get my life in order, and instead my life fell apart completely. So whatever. I'm kind of been in a funk lately, but I guess I'm here as an act of rebellion to what, the world sucks and everything is miserable, but they can't stop me from enjoying New Japan, so fuck them. Let's talk about some wrestling.
All right, so we're going to go back real quick just to cover the title matches that have happened since Dominion. So going back to June, not January,
Going way back.
That's way back. June 22nd, then Korakuen Hall in Tokyo, we had a never openweight 6-man championship match. Evil, Dick Togo, and Yujiro Takahashi versus Yoshi-Hashi, Tomohiro Ishii, and Hirooki Goto, who are the defending champs and are on a massive win streak. Bullet Club even stole the belts before the match even started, when the ref was just kind of presenting them like they usually do for the challengers. They attack Chaos. We get the classic Timekeeper gets taken out by Evil. And we actually had a nice chop battle between Evil and Ishii in this match. Evil hangs the chair on Ishii's neck and hits it with another one. We have Ishii in the end. He actually got hit with a pedigree from Dick Togo. Ishii fights out of Togo's garrote and lariats everyone, hits a vertical brainbuster on Togo, gets the victory. This match actually went over 30 minutes. It was fine.
32:03. I thought it was a really good match. I mean, I star ratings, whatever. I went 4 stars. I thought that was an excellent match. Kind of the story going in was that, Ishii and Togo have known each other, and Ishii's kind of like, he wants Togo to fight, like a man, like he used to, instead of doing all the Bullet Club bullshit. So that was kind of one of the underlying stories of this match, and then it kind of leads indirectly to future events. But right after that, we had a challenge for the next Never title match, and that got me really excited.
Yeah, we'll get to that. But between, we had the next day on June 23rd, also in Korakuen Hall. It was El Phantasmo and Taiji Ishimori against Roppongi 3K, Sho and Yo for the Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Championships. We got a lot of scrutiny from Red Shoes about ELP's fingernails, because he likes to do a lot of back raking, and I believe he had sharpened them to a point previously. Something like that.
He's evil and delightful.
Back and forth early on until ELP and Ishimori take over. We see kind of the typical Ishimori ELP match, standing on Yo's balls in the corner while he's upside down, removing of a corner pad. Sho gets a hot tag, runs wild, starts attacking Ishimori's arm. Sho hits a power breaker to create some space, and both guys tag out. ELP and Yo exchange some forearms. We get some really, really nice super kicks from Yo. Yo avoids a V-trigger, but Ishimori kicks him in the face. Yo gets hit with double knees, Thunder Kiss 86 for a 2 count. And then Yo gets hit with the hold down code breaker. ELP goes for the moonsault. Yo escapes, and Ishimori ends up taking the moonsault. Sho and Yo hit the 3K on Ishimori, who is not the legal man. Then on ELP, they hit Strong X for a 2 count. Ishimori breaks up that pin, and then ELP hits Sudden Death and gets the victory. So we have ELP and Taiji Ishimori are the new Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champs. I thought this was a fun match, and kind of surprising they took the belts off Sho and Yo, but you think Sho and Yo are probably going to go on their separate ways at this point?
No, I think that they're going to continue to do as they have done and both do their own singles things while also being a team. I mean, that's the thing, like, you can do both, especially in, like, a company like New Japan and AEW, where they kind of cycle guys in and out of the main pictures. That way, like, just in AEW when Moxley lost the title, and he's gonna team with Eddie Kingston now. Well, yeah, that's better than him doing nothing and people complaining about. I don't know. That was a random rant. I thought that. Well, I mean, in retrospect, it makes sense to put the titles, back on Ishimori and ELP if they had them earlier this year. And I imagine the only reason they didn't keep him was that, ELP went back to States for a while. Just now he's back in the country for a bit. And with the direction that they were going, clearly they had the Tokyo Dome match in mind, and made sense to get the belts on these heels. So yeah, it was a good match, and this ELP loaded boot thing, I'm sure, is going to pay off eventually.
Yeah, I mean, at the Tokyo Dome show, it kept going. They keep moving the storyline, so at least it's not a stagnant storyline.
Yeah, but when are they gonna do Best of the Super Junior this year? Is it gonna be? They're gonna end up doing it just like last year, right? Like with the World Tag League at the same time. That's like, why didn't they do that during this fucking long ass summer tour?
I mean, they're doing the Super Junior Tag League.
Yeah,
but it's like 6 teams, so,
Come on, Far East Connection. Kato and Dick Togo, let's do this.
We move on to July 2nd, 2021, still in Korakuen Hall, and then we have Hiroyoshi Tenzan, Yuji Nagata, Satoshi Kojima versus Yoshi-Hashi, Hirooki Goto, and Tomohiro Ishii for the Never Openweight 6-man championship. And we have 3 former IWGP Heavyweight Champions taking on 3 never been heavyweight champions, but they are the never Openweight 6-man.
Yeah, it was the third generation, the kind of I think, yeah, thinking about it, they're like the last remaining active guys from the third generation, and they were just off at Nagata had his AEW excursion, and Kojima had a little run. Oh, did you see last week on Strong, Kojima challenged Tom Lawler for the Strong Openweight title? That was a fucking battle.
I heard about it, but I have not watched it.
Yeah. I just know, man, and knowing that Tom is just a New Japan mark, and I just, could tell he loved having that match. But anyway, yeah. I think, was this they have now surpassed the record for longest reign as never 6-man champs, and I think did this break the defense record or tie it? But Goto, Ishii, and Yoshi-Hashi. The main story, the story of this match is that it was a year ago next month that they won the tournament for the Never titles that were always kind of a joke and an afterthought, and they have established those championships as a destination, and that was really the point of this match. Another very strong Never 6 minutes, and so the day before, July 1st at Korakuen, they did 3 singles matches. Kind of surprised, Yoshi-Hashi submitted Tenzan with the butterfly lock. Kojima beat Goto with the lariat, and then Ishii and Nagata had a battle in the main event. Ishii beat Nagata. So we have our title match here. We have a very strong match, and it just kind of the little tropes of Gato's booking that you start to notice when you watch a lot of this shit. So the only match that the champions lost the day before was Goto getting pinned by Kojima. So the title match was Goto pinning Kojima with the GTR.
Yeah, so Ichii and Nagata, they just started throwing bombs right out of the gate. Ishii chops the shit out of Kojima. His chest started bleeding. Yoshi-Hashi continues the chopping. Chaos basically gets the heat on Kojima for quite a while. Kojima hits a Koji cutter to get Tenzan in. Tenzan hits a brainbuster. Yoshi-Hashi kicks out. Nagata tagged in, quickly goes bad for him. He gets hit with a headhunter by Yoshi-Hashi, triple teaming from the rest of the Chaos faction, and then Chaos soon loses momentum, but Ishii gets in the Nagata lock. Goto and Kojima tag in at the same time. They brawl in the middle. Top rope elbow from the top. Top rope elbow from Goto for a 2 count. Double team from Goto and Yoshi-Hashi, but only get 2 count. And then Goto eventually hits the GTR on Kojima and gets the victory. A fun 26-minute match.
Very.
I'm trying to look at what the shortest match we're going to talk about. I think the shortest match that we're going to talk about was 19 minutes and 23 seconds. So many long matches.
We'll talk about these matches because I got something to say that's a little bit different than the popular opinion. We'll talk about that when we get to the Tokyo Dome show. But yeah, man, these long championship matches, it's cool with me, man. I enjoy it.
Yeah, I mean, none of them were total slogs or anything, so I can't really complain. They went long, but I didn't feel like I was bored to death by them or anything.
I was looking through some of my results, and I remember the one match that was really long that I was like, why I want this fucking match. And do you remember Dominion last year? Evil and Naito went 37 fucking minutes.
Oh my god, that was friggin' torture.
Oh, I feel like I think a piece of my soul is still stuck watching that match, just fucking waiting for Dick Togo to show up in a Bushi mask.
All right, moving on. We're jumping up to a July 10th Summer Struggle in Sapporo, Night 1. Taiji Ishimori versus El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. Again, Desperado, he has been putting on great matches, and this one continue that. They lock up, start some rolling to start it off. Since they're both heels, they're both not above breaking some rules. We get some eye pokes from Desperado. Ishimori goes to work on Desperado on the outside, runs him into the barricade, the post. Ishimori grabs a chair and Red Shoes takes it away, and while he's disposing of said chair, he grabs another one right under the ring and smashes Desperado's arm with the chair between the ring post. Ishimori removes a turnbuckle pad, running Desperado's shoulder first into it. So a lot of this is working over the arm. Ishimori does the arm breaker spot. Desperado attacks Ishimori's leg in similar fashion as Ishimori did to Desperado's arm. Ishimori then hits basically a bloody cross, but uses the barricade instead of his own knee. That was probably the most dangerous spot they did in this match, and this match was awesome. I love how when Desperado, he had to answer a 20 count off of that. Ishimori hits a 450 splash the second Desperado gets back under the rope. Desperado fights back, struggles to the ropes out of a yes lock. Desperado hits an Olympic slam, then goes for the Kotaro de Angel, but gets pushed into Red Shoes, who then goes into the exposed turnbuckle, which was the weakest looking bump I have seen Red Shoes ever take.
Well, referees are fragile.
Yeah, but it was like the slowest moving thing. Like, it's like, okay, you need to take a little bit more of a bump. But anyways, while the ref is down, they exchange dick punches. And then the referee starts coming to. They have a striking exchange. Desperado hits a spine buster for 2. Then goes right into numero dos off of the kick out. Ishimori kind of turns that into a pin attempt. Desperado blocks La Mystica. Hits a Kotaro de Angel for 2. Ishimori blocks a Pinche Loco. Runs Desperado into the exposed turnbuckle. Hits La Mystica right into the S-lock. Ishimori tries to roll Desperado away from the the ropes, and Desperado takes advantage of the roll, goes right into numero dos. Then I wrote ELP, but ELP pulls the ref out of the ring, attacks Desperado. Kanemaru comes out, runs off ELP. We get a suplex from Desperado, double knee from Ishimori for 2, and then Ishimori. This move was awesome. He does a twist out of the Pinche Loco right into the bone lock. Ishimori repositions, hits a few strikes, tries to run Desperado into the exposed corner, but it gets reversed and Ishimori ends up going into the corner. Desperado hits the punch, then hits 2 Pinche Locos in a row. He doesn't even bother trying to pin after the first one. Gets the victory and retains the IWGP Heavyweight Championship. 28-54 for this match. Fun match right here. Except for the little bit of the shenanigans with ELP running out.
Yeah, I don't remember very much. I remember that I really, really liked it. And something that I love, and I'm gonna talk about it again later, is the way that, like, the different factions in New Japan, like, they all interact with each other differently. And when it's Suzuki-gun against Bullet Club, they're both heels and they're both going to try to out-cheat each other, but Suzuki-gun are like kind of the de facto baby faces, but they're still being Suzuki-gun. And it's just that dynamic was here in this match a little bit, and I enjoy that very much, and I enjoy it even more in the program that we're gonna talk about next with the tag championship.
Yeah, so we go to the following night, July 11th, Summer Struggle in Sapporo Night 2, and this is Tetsuya Naito and Sonata challenging Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Championship. Naito wants Zack to start it off. Looks like he's going to. They're about to lock up. Zack tags out Taichi. He wants Sonata. And as soon as Sonata tags in, Zack tags in. So just messing with him. We have great rolling from Sonata and ZSJ like always. Zack Sabre Jr. bails the moment Naito gets a tag. Naito takes a few shots of ZSJ on the apron. ZSJ decides to give Naito what he wants, tags in, but then Naito tags out, so playing the head games there. A little bit of a breakdown. Naito works on Zack Sabre Jr.'s neck when they finally start locking up with each other. Sonata does as well. Techers start attacking Naito's arm. Taichi runs Naito into the barricade on the outside a few times, and then Taichi keeps choking Naito. And Sonata runs in, tries to break it up. He ends up getting choked as well. Sonata gets a hot tag, bests both of his opponents, hits a dragon screw on Zack in the ropes, crossbody off the top for 2. They exchange a bunch of pin attempts. Zack Sabre Jr. puts on a triangle choke. Sonata powers out of it, but Zack at least avoids getting TKO'd out of it. Taichi tagged in. Sonata and Taichi exchange strikes. Forearms from Sonata, kicks from Taichi. They exchange a bunch of different strikes. They get a double down. Zack takes out Naito on the outside. Bunch of counters. Taichi hits a head kick. TKO from Sonata. Double down again. Naito breaks away from Zack on the outside. Gets tagged in. Goes for the wrecking ball dropkick in the corner. They fight on the top rope until Naito hits a top rope Rana for a 2. Everybody runs in, hits something, and this happens at the 25-minute mark. We have everybody down, and then we get a back and forth with Naito and Taichi. Zack gets tagged in, double teaming from Sonata and Naito. Zack kicks out of a clutch pin. Esperanza for a 2 count. Zack Sabre Jr. blocks a Destino, goes right into a Cobra Twist. Naito slowly makes his way to the ropes, but falls short. Zack drags him to the ground, but Naito is just close enough, gets a foot on the rope, and then Zack hits Naito with a bunch of kicks. Naito catches one of them and hits some pull-in back elbows, then hits a flying elbow. Zack hits a dragon suplex for a bridge. Sonata breaks that up. Taichi comes in, hits Sonata with a Uranagi and Naito with an axe bomber. Taichi hits a last ride power bomb. Zack hits a penalty kick, gets a 2 count. Naito avoids a holy Zack driver, attempts a pin. Sonata hits Zack with a moonsault and locks up Taichi in a skull end, while Naito hits a Destino on Zack and gets the victory. Sonata and Naito for the first time in 10 years. For Naito, he is an IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion.
Yeah, man, I really like this. I love this program. And it just, if you gotta watch, like, this is the one that you want to watch, like, all the backstage comments for, because it's fucking great. And it's specifically Taichi and Zack and Naito and Sonata, just that combination of guys, like, the only word to describe it is, like, frenemies. Mm-hmm. Like, they fight hard in the ring, but Kevin pointed it out I think it might have been at Tokyo. Like, this is not a blood feud. Like, this is a contest between people who want to prove that they're the best, and they clearly respect each other, and, like, you know, kind of almost like I think Zack likes Sonata a little bit.
Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr. are is like one of my favorite one-on-one matchups. I will watch that match every time because they are so good and they have excellent matches every time. They've had 7 matches in the past couple of years. They're 3-1 against each other in singles. Yeah, they're always good when they're together.
I got to see them live in Dallas, and that was a treat because I love that. I love all of their matches. But this is such an interesting tactic, and we talk about how great Kevin Kelly is, but it bears repeating every time. The way that he explains this shit, in that, like, number one, it was something that we talked about before with, like, you know, that Naito and Sonata not really being a tag team. And Kevin points out, and it's true of Dangerous Tekkers too, like, if you want guys in matching gear who do the same moves, like, that's not this. This is a team this is 2 teams, each comprised of 2 very different wrestlers, and they want to prove that their style of wrestling is the best. And that is the essence of New Japan Pro Wrestling, and I love it, and I love this feud. And I hope it goes on for a while.
I like how they mention that Taichi isn't as chiseled as Sonata because he and Zack go drinking quite a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's funny. All right, we move on to the main show that we're going to be talking about here. This is Wrestle Grand Slam in the Tokyo Dome, July 25th, 2020. Given the size of the venue and the less than stellar crowd, because they were limited on how many tickets they could sell, and then of course a state of emergency was announced, so basically they had to stop selling tickets, so you have like a 55,000 seat arena where you only got like 6,000 people into.
I think it was the 5,000 limit, like we talked about before. The thing is, this, you got to understand, this was not a New Japan Tokyo Dome show. This was a major New Japan show that happened to be in the Tokyo Dome. And it was kind of fun with the placement and the cancellations and everything. I was watching live, so I was like on Twitter. And you have, you know, it's a Tokyo Dome show, so you have the kind of casual New Japan fans choosing in. And it was funny to me because it's a Tokyo Dome show. So they are expecting, in terms of, like, this show's place in the overall narrative, they are expecting a Wrestle Kingdom. And instead, what we got here was Summer Struggle Day 12 and a half. And but I thought, just in terms of wrestling, I thought that this was a fucking fantastic show.
Yeah, this is a really good show. I mean, 6 matches, they're all really long, and I mean, we had, 1, 2, 3, 4 title matches out of the 6, so I mean, it was a stacked card with implications, so it's not like it was a throwaway show that just happened to take place in the Tokyo Dome.
Yeah,
so,
on the main card, my lowest rating is 3 3/4.
So we'll kick it off. The opening was a 22-person Rambo. This was for the KOPW Provisional Championship, and the stipulation is the typical pin, over the top, DQ submission, and the additional stip is if you get handcuffed to something, you are out, and there were handcuffs at all the corners and out on the barricade. So if you're...
I gotta throw in, because the English commentary for the show in Nagoya wasn't up yet, so like I hadn't seen it yet, but Kevin kind of explained it. And then if you go back and see it, it's even funnier. On the day before, it's Yano and Okada against Jeff Cobb and the Great Okan. And they're doing something or other, like Okan and Yano are doing something at ringside, and like the part of the ring, it's like the lowest part of the ring that, like, I didn't even know there was a freaking, a piece of metal that far down. Yano handcuffed Okan to, like, the underside of the ring and beat him by count out. And it was just the way that Dude, we were kind of negative on the Great Khan when he first came in. I gotta tell you, that guy is really growing on me because he is entertaining as shit. You gotta watch him selling how mad he was at being handcuffed to the ring by Yano and like beating up young lions, like yelling for somebody to come uncuff him and then beating up young lions. It was fantastic.
Yeah, his character work has gotten better. The in-ring is still so-so, but yeah, he's doing a little better. I think he's surpassed I think he's surpassed at least Master Watto.
And dude, I like, as far as like, you know, being his tag team partner is one of the fucking best guys in the world. Yeah. So, yeah.
So we have the Rambo. A lot of guys, so I'll just kind of go through some of the fun spots. Hanma, he ends up getting cuffed to the bottom rope super early, so he is stuck out there for like 30 minutes, stuck attached to the ropes. Suzuki comes in, beats the crap out of Chase Owens. Chase Owens and Great Khan were actually the first ones to start off. Suzuki and Nagata beat the shit out of each other. They throw each other over the top rope. They're on the apron. Sho drop kicks Suzuki off the apron to eliminate him. Yo and Kanemaru fight on the apron. Sho tries to save Yo, but Great Khan comes behind him and dumps Sho, who drags Yo, who then drags Kanemaru off the apron. So all of them get eliminated. Great Khan and Tenzan give each other the Mongolian chops, so that continuing that bullshit stip, though KK is calling them Tokyo Tomahawks.
Not to be confused with the Korakuen clubs.
Yeah. Bushi tries the same strategy as he did or in January. He just slid through the ring and hangs out on the outside, but it was mentioned, well, you can still get eliminated on the floor because there's handcuffs on the barricade, which what ends up happening to him as well as Tiger Mask. Great Khan hits a double slam and a double pin on Doki and Watto, so he eliminates both of them. Ishii and Togo, they have some fun issues continuing on out of the matches we were talking about earlier. And they end up getting both eliminated at the same time, and Ichii chases Dick Togo with a chair as he runs to the back. Yano is the last one in. He quickly eliminates Khan by cuffing him to the barricade on the outside. So we've come down to the final of Kenta, Yano, Chase Owens, Yoshi-Hashi, Yujiro, and Yano. I put Yano in there twice. Kenta gets cuffed in the corner, but he is inside the ring. He is cuffed to the top rope, and he's standing on the inside of the ring when that happens. Yoshi-Hashi gets cuffed on to the opposite rope, and Yano low bridges Yujiro. Kenta keeps attacking when he can. Kenta breaks up Yano attempting to pin Chase. Yoshi-Hashi does the same thing when Chase was attempting to pin Yano. The ref gets knocked down. Yujiro, after being eliminated, hits Yano with the walking stick. Chase throws powder in the eyes of Yano, hits a jewel heist, only gets a 2 count. But then Chase hits this massive, like really hard V-trigger, package pile driver, and Chase Owens wins the 22-man Rambo and is now the KOPW provisional champion for 2021. And he beat up Yano a little bit more after the match as well for good measure.
So Chase Owens is now, he is both the Texas heavyweight champion and the king of pro wrestling. So, very clearly, this is all to set up for the New Japan return of the king of Texas, ACH. Or maybe not. I don't know. I hope so, though. ACH is great.
Jay in the chat says, I'm still salty about Chase winning. Boo.
She was very upset.
So that match went 35 minutes, 36 seconds. Like I said, I mean, I've seen worse Royal Rumbles than this. I thought that it was fun, and the handcuff, the whole handcuff stip added a little something to the match.
Yeah, I mean, I got no problem with them doing these on the pre-show of a big show.
Hiromu Takahashi is
something that we forgot to mention because it didn't seem like anything in the moment, but in the end, it ends up being something. Number 16 comes on, and it's Evil. It's Evil's music and Evil's face on the thing, but Evil does not come out. Instead, we get Dick Togo entering the match in Evil's place, and that actually did come into play later.
Yes. All right, so we open the main show proper. Hiromu Takahashi, he runs out. He is the master of ceremonies, similar to like he did last time. Basically, he's cleared, and he throws out that he wants to challenge whoever the junior heavyweight champion is at the end of the night. And he heads over, and he's on commentary for the rest of the evening. That's basically what I got out of it. You get anything else out of it?
No, but he's been doing that a lot on these kind of big shows, coming out and being the MC, and it's just, I don't know, man. This injury, it weirdly made me love Hiromu even more because he was always there, always trying to be a part of the show, doing the silly things with the ring crew and wiping down the ring, and Hiromu Takahashi is going to be and is the greatest New Japan junior heavyweight since Liger. It's going to go down in history. Original Tiger Mask, Liger, Hiromu Takahashi.
Yeah, and was it Kevin Kelly that said whenever Hiromu enters the room, he just sucks the air out of it because no one can be as charismatic as he is?
Right? Yeah, man. Hiromu's the greatest. And I'm glad that he's back.
So we have the opening match is for the IWGP Junior Tag Team Championship, and this is Rocky Romero and Ryusuke Taguchi, so the Mega Coaches, versus El Phantasmo Taiji Ishimori from Bullet Club.
Bullet Club's cutest tag team.
Is that what they're calling themselves?
Yeah.
The Mega Coaches want ELP's boot checked thoroughly by the ref. And then right out of the gate, they start fighting. We get a quick hip attack from Taguchi to Ishimori. We get a double fake out and then hip attacks from Rocky and Taguchi to both of ELP and Ishimori. They try to take off ELP's boots. He escapes to the outside quickly, and then he gives a super kick to a young lion, and he just goes down and stays down forever.
Yeah, is there a new young lion, or is that? I've seen one that I didn't recognize, and I wasn't sure if that was Yuto Nakajima back or if that was a new one.
I'm assuming it's a new one because we have farewell matches coming up in the next couple of days for Uemura and
Suji. Good for them, man. It's way past time for them. So yeah. Good for them.
So he escapes the outside, hits the young lion with the sudden death super kick. We get a step up Rana from Rocky using Ishimori as a launching pad when Ishimori had gone down on all fours to let ELP use him as a launching pad. Though we get to the typical back raking from Ishimori and ELP. They could use a little bit of new material at this time. They've been doing the same thing for the past 2 years. It's time for some new material, I think. Yeah.
I guess the sharpening the nails is an addition.
Rocky avoids the third Amigo, rakes ELP's back for good measure. Ishimori tries to stop Rocky from making a tag, and he escapes with a rewind kick. But just before he gets the tag, ELP pulls Taguchi off of the apron. We get a double Rana from Rocky to make the space to make the tag. We get B triggers back and forth to both ELP and Ishimori. Springboard hip attack for 2. Ishimori avoids a Bomaye and tries a roll-up. We get a few roll-up attempts from both guys. Rocky is back in. Hits a sliced Rocky for a 2. Missile drop kick to a hung-up Ishimori. ELP has to break up that pin attempt. ELP gets tag, goes crazy. He flies all over the place. Rocky Rana's out of a CR2 attempt, ends up eating a Styles Clash though for a 2 count. He ends up eating a V trigger. Rocky rolls through a one-winged angel attempt into an armbar. Ishimori and Taguchi struggle. The Ishimori sends both of them into ELP and Rocky to break up the submission attempt Rocky had on. ELP and Rocky exchange forearms, and then ELP and Ishimori set up for the assisted double knees, but Rocky ends up basically turning it into a doomsday device, and Ishimori ends up giving his own partner Poison Rana, which I thought was a great... So
yeah,
this happened a few times in the past couple of matches that things go bad, and Ishimori and ELP end up hurting their own partner in various things. Where Ishimori end up eating a moonsault in the previous match from ELP, and this time he ends up hitting a Poison Rana on ELP.
Back in February when they dropped the titles back to Kanemaru and Desperado, wasn't it ELP accidentally hitting Ishimori with a loaded boot?
Could have been, yeah. So,
yeah, I think it was.
So they do that hits Poison Rana. Mega Coaches hit a Black Hole Vacation. Ishimori has to grab the ropes. ELP breaks up a strong zero attempt. Ishimori hits a Code Red on Taguchi. Ishimori throws the coaches over the guardrail, and ELP rope walks out to the middle with no one holding him, and it looks like he is not even like trying to balance. He's perfectly balanced without even trying. Hits a moonsault off the top rope over the barricade onto the coaches, but when he lands on his loaded boot, and it ends up hurting his own foot, so now he has a hurting foot. We get a flying knee from Ishimori, UFO from ELP to Taguchi for a 2 count back in the ring. Thunder Kiss 86 from ELP. Rocky has to break up that pin. Rocky gets hit with sudden death from ELP. Taguchi catches ELP's kick, throws it into Ishimori's face, and Taguchi hits a blue thunder bomb for a 2 count. And then he puts on the ankle lock on ELP and starts undoing his laces of his boot, pulls off ELP's boot, looks in it, his eyes grow wide, and he's trying to hand it over to the ref, and Ishimori comes in for the distraction to prevent the ref from actually seeing what's in the boot. And while this is happening, ELP dick punches Taguchi and hits him with the CR2 and gets the victory. And ELP gets a little too friendly with his boot after the match.
Yeah, this was a very, very good match. Like, the best junior heavyweight tag title match in like a while, I think. Very, very good.
Yeah, this was fun. I love that, this is an example of where you can do comedy well without taking away from the match, is when you have mess ups from teammates, and you end up hitting your own guy with something the Poison Rana on on ELP from Taiji Ishimori, and catching the kick, Taguchi catching the kick and throwing it into Ishimori's face. So I love how they kind of work those things in, and ELP landing on his foot, and his own loaded boot ended up hurting his own foot, which I thought was pretty funny.
Fantastic stuff.
Jay here in the chat, I'm not sure when it was written. That's the one that broke his elbow, I think. Could be wrong. Who broke an elbow? Do you know who broke an elbow?
It rings a bell, but I can't think of who.
The Young Lion. The Young Lion got his elbow broken?
Yudo Nakajima. He had his first match with, I think, Uemura, and he broke his elbow like 20 seconds in. Got it.
Yeah. All right, yeah, that's what she was referring to. I understand now. I thought somebody broke an elbow in this match. You're talking the Young Lion that got hit, who we were talking about, is the one who had broken his elbow. Got it. I understand now. Yeah, this was a very fun match. 2056 on this match, and pretty good stuff. I would like Ishimori and ELP to expand their material a little bit, just so we're not seeing the same match over and over like we have for the past 2 years. So, but other than that, it was fun.
Well, get ready for the Super Junior Tag League, buddy.
Right? Yeah. Luckily, it's only like 5 matches apiece. So, next up, we have Robbie Eagles challenging El Desperado for the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship. And right away, out of the gate, Desperado goes right attacking for the knee. Get some chain wrestling. Eagles suckers Desperado in, hits him with some strikes. Back to working the knee from Desperado. Eagles comes back with a bunch of kicks from his good leg. But Desperado goes right to attacking the bad knee. Desperado whips Eagles towards the ropes, and Eagles just collapses. He can't run. On the outside, Eagles uses the apron and the bottom rope to hit a 619, sending Desperado into the barricade and over it to the floor. We should probably mention that the ring is up on a platform, so the top of the barricade is a little lower than usual, kind of at like hip level, so you can go right over the top of it pretty easily. Eagles hits a drop kick to Desperado's knee, puts on the Ron Miller special. Desperado is screaming in pain, but makes it to the ropes. And Eagles starts to work Desperado's knee. I believe there was a story from Chris Charlton talking about, you hear the story of the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. What happens when you have 2 one-legged men in an ass-kicking contest? That's what this turned out to, as both of them just beat the shit out of each other's knee. Desperado blocks a turbo backpack, hits Eagles with a suplex. They have a striking exchange that starts on their knees, works their way to their feet. They kick each other in the knee a bunch of time. Eagles, I don't even know what I meant to write here. He hits a rising knee and a thrust kick. Desperado hits a massive strike that just lays him out. He hits a Kotaro de Angel for 2. Eagles rolls through a Pinche Loco, but ends up eating a spine buster right after that, and right into the numero dos. Desperado didn't even try a pin here. Desperado traps one arm. He's trying to get the other arm. Eagles powers this around, though, into a pin attempt. And then they stand up and trade some more. Eagles thrust kick to the knee. Both guys are down. Desperado blocks a sliced bread and attempts a pin. Eagles gets pushed towards the ref. The ref covers up, and Desperado winds up for a punch, but before he can hit it, Eagles hits him with a high roundhouse kick to the head, and then a thrust kick. When Desperado drops to his knee, Eagles hits a turbo backpack. Desperado kicks out. Eagles hits a 450 splash to the knee of Desperado, puts on the Ron Miller special in the middle of the ring. Desperado crawls towards the ropes. Eagles pulls him back to the middle. Desperado towards the ropes again. Eagles pulls him back to the middle, hits a bunch of knee strikes, puts the Ron Miller special on again in the middle. Desperado is forced to tap out, and Robbie Eagles is the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion, the first ever IWGP Champion from Australia, and he was getting quite emotional, and it looked like a very legitimate emotional after the match as well, getting this championship.
Well, this was a great match. Robbie Eagles is great, and I was really happy to see him get this. The first Australian to win an IWGP Championship. I was even more amazed by the stat that he was the first Australian pro wrestler to have a singles match at the Tokyo Dome. That was astounding, considering like the first New Japan Tokyo Dome show, you had wrestlers from the fucking Soviet Union. goddamn Blue Wolf from Mongolia had singles matches in the Tokyo Dome. 32 years of pro wrestling events in the Tokyo Dome, and Robbie Eagles is the first Australian to have a singles match, and he made the most of it, and he is the new IWGP Junior Heavyweight Champion. And I don't know, we've talked about, he's just such a great, like, junior heavyweight wrestler, great baby face. And that the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship, like, it to me is always going to be the premier lighter weight championship in wrestling, because that was like when I first started seeking out like other wrestling than what was just on TV. Like, that was the shit that I wanted to find, like Liger and Owen Hart and Benoit and El Samurai and Kanemoto. So like, the IWGP Junior Heavyweight Championship it's important to me as a wrestling fan, and I could tell it was important to Robbie Eagles. They did in the backstage comments. They did it was really cool. And this is the one time Eagles there, and he's so happy. And of course, Chaos, the best faction in New Japan because they actually care about each other. Goto and Yoshi-Hashi. And I think somebody else show up to sell, and Sho and Yo all celebrate celebrate with Robbie Eagles, and they drink Zimas, and he shows them the Australian way of celebrating, where he drank it out of a sweaty boot, and I think that they were a little bit disgusted with that, understandably so, but yeah, very, very good match, very great. And you know what this means? And I did not expect this finish, so I was thinking we were going to get Desperado versus Hiromu coming up soon, but instead we are going to get a rematch from the other most awesome match from last year's Best of Super Junior at MetLife Dome. Robbie Eagles going to defend the title against Hiromu Takahashi, and that is going to fucking rule.
Yeah, and do you? I think they should keep the title on Eagles.
I do too. Yeah, I definitely don't think that Hiromu should. I agree. Should chase it for a little while, and yeah, if Robbie's gonna stay in Japan for a little bit, yeah, because I understand completely with the situation that they don't want to have guys taking belts back and forth, which the U.S. title is different. I think they've more or less decided that until these travel restrictions are gone, the U.S. and the Never title are going to stay in the U.S. and these other championships are going to stay in Japan. But yeah, I hope that Robbie gets to keep it for a little while. And I know, like, New Japan doesn't do a ton of like multi-man matches, but I get like Robbie, Hiromu, Desperado, and ELP in like a 4-way would be phenomenal.
Definitely. That would be pretty awesome. Yeah, I assume that he's going to be staying in Japan for quite some time because, you know, Australia has the same type of restrictions coming back. So he had issues just getting to Japan, getting out of Australia, and he's going to have just as worse of a time getting into Australia. So he's probably staying in Japan for a while.
Yeah, Kevin Kelly even explained that the reason that Gino wasn't there is because of the lockdown. He could not go to the studio where he records the commentary.
Yeah, which is kind of crazy. He can't even move within like his own city to be by himself in a recording studio. You know, it's kind of weird. But yeah, this is a really good match. Eagles, as you said, excellent babyface. He also plays a really good babyface in Peril as well, and. Again, this is a match, it was worked extremely safe. There was like nothing that I could call as being unsafe in this match or anywhere near it.
So,
Hiromu, Hiromu, you don't have to land on your neck to have an awesome junior heavyweight championship match.
Yeah, Desperado is not crazy. I think he's kind of... And I credit a lot of this to like he surrounded himself with smart workers like Minoru Suzuki and Yoshinobu Kanemaru, that he's not one to put together a match that, like, you know, Hiromu is just bound to destroy his own neck, but, you know, Yeah, it's good. It's good to see a less terrifying match that is still really excellent.
Next up, we had Jeff Cobb versus Kazuchika Okada, and in a special singles 60-minute time limit match. And they are just continuing this on with Okada having issues with the Empire, and Jeff Cobb stepping in here. They started off a little slow until Okada is set up on the top rope, sitting on the top rope, and Jeff Cobb gets the highest standing drop kick, knocking Okada off the top rope to the floor, just like Okada always does to his opponents. This was insane, given how short and big Jeff Cobb is.
That was amazing. Like, oh my god, just an amazing visual. Jeff Cobb is just the best.
He is amazing.
I keep comparing him to like dude, I think if you book this dude right, like he's got the potential to be the greatest New Japan foreigner since Vader. And like this motherfucker's more agile than Vader.
Oh yeah, totally. I mean, I don't think Vader could do a standing moonsault.
No, he did a top rope moonsault, but he couldn't do a standing one. Jeff Cobb is amazing, y'all. That is the story of this match.
Back in the ring,
there's two stories. I'm sorry, there's two stories. One is that Jeff Cobb is amazing, and two is that the Tokyo Dome is where Kazuchika Okada wakes up and sees Tokyo Dome on his calendar and goes, "Oh, today's the day I got to remind these motherfuckers that I'm the greatest of all time."
And he did it.
That was this match.
And he did it in under 20 minutes.
Yes.
After they return to the ring and they have a striking exchange, Cobb just no-sells like 6 forearms from Okada. After a little bit, Okada returns the favor of the drop kick, knocking Cobb off the top rope to the floor. Cobb is then given a running boot, sending him over to the barricade. Okada drags him back in, gives him a draping DDT using the barricade to the floor. And then back in the ring, Okada catches a punch, turns it into a money clip. This is probably the first time I liked him using the money clip, because he caught the punch and was like, it was so smooth into the money clip, it didn't look contrived.
Yeah.
Cobb powers them both into the corner to break up the submission attempt. Cobb catches Okada doing a crossbody to the floor, gives him a delayed vertical suplex on the floor. Okada has to answer the 20 count. Cobb hits a running power slam for 2, then a standing moonsault for 2, hits a spin cycle for 2, release German suplex from Cobb, shotgun dropkick from Okada, forearms from Cobb, drop kick from Okada, a couple of pulling clotheslines from Okada. Cobb ducks a Rainmaker. Cobb comes back with a massive lariat. We get some back and forth countering of each other's moves until Okada does the drop down cradle and gets the flash pin. That drop down cradle has been treating him well for the past year.
That was great, man. And somebody tweeted sarcastically, and I appreciated it. What the hell, man? Okada won with a cradle and then celebrated like he was the better wrestler. He needs to go to the Performance Center and learn how to steal one. No, this was fantastic. This was a fucking killer match, I thought.
Yeah, so Okada picks it up, but with the flash pin, I'm guessing they're going back to this soon, and because Cobb is probably going to treat it as a fluky finish, so he's gonna want Okada again.
Spoiler alert! So during the backstage comments, Cobb said, "Okay, I'm leaving tomorrow. I'm going to go back to the United States, and I'm going to reevaluate, and I'll be back for the G1." And then, so Tuesday, they had a show at Korakuen Hall, and Jeff Cobb appeared and gave Okada a tour of the islands. He lied. He lied about going home, and he snuck attacked Okada, and they have signed a rematch for one of the Seibu Dome shows.
Well, there you go. I saw the video when I was scrolling Twitter about the giving the tour of the islands. I just didn't look into it that much yet.
Yeah.
So there you go. So we will have Cobb versus Okada. How many times have they met at this point? Was this the third time they've met this year? This is the one we just saw was the second time they've met this year, right? Didn't they do? Wasn't Tokyo Dome? No. I can't even freaking remember.
Okada wrestled Ospreay and Cobb wrestled Takagi. I don't know that they've wrestled because they weren't in the same G1 block in 2019. Were they last year? I can't remember. Somebody will tell us.
Yeah.
Jay is probably already looking it up or somebody.
All right. Moving on, we have a rematch of a previous match we talked about. This is now Zack Sabre Jr. and Taichi challenging Tetsuya Naito and Sonata for the IWGP Heavyweight Tag Team Champion. And Jay said, "Don't call me out like that." This time, Naito and Zack Sabre Jr. do start off the match, and they start off with some rolling, and we get a quick double tag out. Everyone ends up brawling on the floor. Taichi chokes Sonata with some camera cables outside. We get some great chain work from Sonata and Zack when they are legal. I mean, we've talked about that plenty because it's always good.
Never gets old.
Until
this is a matchup, and every combination of this matchup to me, Taichi and Naito can get a little grating over time, but in general, any combination of this match, I just never get tired of.
Until Sonata pops Zack in the knee, and they go to the outside, and Sonata continues to attack the knee of Zack Sabre Jr. Naito works the knee as well, and when he does his combination wrecking ball drop kick, instead when he goes for the wrecking ball drop kick, he just jumps over the ropes, and Zack Sabre Jr. covers up his face. Naito lands on the mat and then gives him a drop kick to the knee, and a ton more work done to Zack Sabre Jr.'s knee. Taichi eventually gets a hot tag. He takes out Sonata and Naito with some kicks, gets a 2 count on Naito, and then Sonata takes the momentum away quickly. They exchange a ton of strikes. Sonata hits a Tiger Driver for a 2. We get a breakdown with everybody fighting. Sonata and Zack Sabre Jr. have a great sequence of a lot of attempted pins, and Zack's knee is shot at this point. He is limping around and falling down. Naito continues to work on that. Zack gets a quick burst of energy, hits a couple DDTs. Sonata sends Taichi packing, and Zack gets ping-pong between Sonata and Naito with some double teams. Naito tries a clutch pin and then puts on... I'm not sure. This was almost like an Indian Deathlock, but not really. It was almost like an inverted figure 4, and not really. And it was almost like a calf slicer, but he used his arm behind Zack's knee instead of using his own ankle. So I am not sure what he had on, but it was something. He was wrapping up the knee. Putting pressure on the knee is the most important thing here. Naito almost kills Zack with an Esperanza. The camera caught just the end of it, and Zack landed right on his head. Did you notice this one?
I didn't. Was it? He must have been okay.
He ended up popping up okay. The camera just barely caught the tail end of it, but he landed right on his head. Let's see. Taichi hits a Black Mephisto on Sonata. Naito hits a Destino on Taichi. Zack hits a Zack Driver on Naito, but he cannot get over for the pin. We have a double down 10 count started, and Zack, he gets to his kind of sits up and stops Red Shoes from counting when he's at about 7. He and Naito basically crawl towards each other, and they start throwing strikes on the ground. They work their way to the feet. The illegal men keep getting involved, Taichi and Sonata. Taichi lays out Naito with a massive running elbow. Zack hits a penalty kick and goes in for a high stack for a 2 count. The Techers want a holy driver. Naito turns it into a vertical brainbuster. Naito goes for Destino. Zack reverses out of it in the middle, gets on the European clutch, and gets the pin. Sorry, I'm having like hiccups in the middle of this. So, second match in a row, flash pin for the victory. This match went 37 minutes and 58 seconds. It did not feel that long at all.
No, man, it didn't. Like the last 2 matches here are both 40-minute matches, and I did not feel like either one of them overstayed their welcome. And we've talked about when like sometimes it does feel like these long main events are gratuitous, but yeah, this match in particular, and I talked about it, just how much I love this program. This was a fucking wrestling match, and they wrestled like they were all trying to win, and they wrestled hard, and then finally somebody found a way to win. And if you've seen these guys wrestle, next time it may very well go the other way. And man, give me Dangerous Techers and Naito and Sonata again, which spoiler, I guess, the post-match, and by the way, this is excellent, and you guys go find the backstage comments from this show, and then fast forward to, it's actually about like a 10 or 12 minute segment for the tag title match, because first Zack and Taichi come in and they're talking, and then Goto and Yoshi-Hashi come in and they want a title shot. And then Naito and Sonata come in, and they want another title shot, and everybody's kind of arguing back and forth, and they finally, and this is fun, where they're actually, like, Naito and Sonata and Zack and Taichi are having a whole little conversation about, like, come on, we gave you a rematch, and Naito was kind of like, come on, you pinned me, and you want to tap me out, it pisses you off, you didn't want to tap me out. And so that led to they agreed to another match. So the match at Seibu Dome is going to be a 3-way match for the tag titles with Dangerous Techers against Naito and Sonata against Goto and Yoshi-Hashi.
Is it a triple threat or a 3-way elimination?
I think it's just triple threat.
I want elimination matches when it's multis so much.
Yeah, yeah.
We get a 5 versus 5 elimination on Wednesday. So. Oh, actually, in a couple hours.
Oh, dude,
it's tonight.
That match is gonna rule so fucking hard. But yeah, let's talk about this main event.
All right, main event. Hiroshi Tanahashi is stepping in with like 12 hours notice. It was like 24 hours notice. That he is replacing Kota Ibushi.
I am pretty sure that they at least had an idea that this might happen as far as like a couple of weeks ago. And because I thought when I looked at the card, I'm like, okay, who's not on this card? Tanahashi. Okay, Gato's keeping that one in the back pocket because Ibushi is sick. So yeah.
Yeah, so Ibushi is sick. He had aspiration pneumonia, or has it, which that really sucks. Not sure how he acquired it, but he did. So Hiroshi Tanahashi steps in versus Shingo Takagi for the IWGP World Heavyweight Championship. And boy golly, did they have... That was the dumbest phrase I've ever said. They had a crazy, awesome match. And they went 37 minutes, and you would not have known that they're planning on going that long how this match started. Because they started going balls to the walls, like right after the bell rings. They start off right out of the gate, little back and forth. Shingo hits a Death Valley driver, sends Tanahashi to the outside. They fight outside some bit. They slow it down a little bit here just to, kind of bring things back. But Shingo is in control with strikes, high impact moves. Tanahashi hits a drop kick to the knee, dragon screw to stifle the momentum of Shingo a little bit. More attacks to the knee. He hits an aces high off the top rope to the floor on Shingo. tons of forearms from Shingo to Shingo while Shingo is sitting in the corner, and then the running basement Shibata drop kick. We get 3 twist and shouts in a row. We get a Noshigami from Shingo. And this one I love. So when Shingo normally does the Noshigami, his opponent, they put their legs back and basically hook the top of their ankles around Shingo's thigh. And I liked this one. Tanahashi, one of his legs slipped. And it's kind of dumb in actual practicality why an opponent would actually do that. But on commentary, they're like, well, most people hook Shingo's legs to lessen the blow of the Noshigami, even though it's completely unrealistic and stupid for people to do that. Instead of, they should just, well, stand up and put your legs out, and you wouldn't get hit with it in general. But I liked that they justified why people do that.
Yeah, that makes sense. Like, some things that you do when you're in a situation like that seem like they weren't what you would do. Like the way that guys, will tuck their head sometimes when they don't need to. Like, it's just, sometimes you can't, your body just does things to try to protect itself, and your brain, So yeah, they are very good at explaining little things like that. And it was Kevin Kelly and Chris Charlton, and Kevin Kelly does an admirable job covering these shows on his own. I love when Chris Charlton is there because he just adds so much. He has so much insight.
Yeah, I mean, talk about a guy who specifically learned Japanese because of New Japan Pro Wrestling, so he could watch it and understand what they were saying. That is dedication.
My hero, honestly.
And they probably would never even mention this unless just because Tanahashi's one of his legs popped out of that and he landed really weird. So that's why they talked about it. They go back and forth, a bunch of dragon screws from Tanahashi, including one pulling Shingo off the top rope. Tanahashi puts on the Texas Cloverleaf, and then he pulls it into basically like a high angle, like lion tamer version of the Cloverleaf. Shingo powers to the ropes. Shingo gives Tanahashi a dragon screw in the ropes. Already having bad wheels, this probably does not help Tanahashi very much. Shingo keeps attacking the knee. We get a barricade-assisted GTR from Shingo to Tanahashi. Tanahashi barely makes the 20 count and eats a running forearm as soon as he sticks his head through the bottom rope. We get a Made in Japan for a 2 count. Tanahashi blocks a Last of the Dragon, but Shingo hits him with 20 elbows in a row, and then a massive headbutt that drops Tanahashi. Tanahashi hits a sling blade out of a Last of the Dragon attempt. He hits an Aces High, and then Shingo holds on to Tanahashi's leg for dear life to try to prevent him from going back up top. So what does Tanahashi do? He hits a Kamigoye, and then hits a high fly flow, and Shingo Takagi kicks out at the last second, and even though the crowd is not supposed to vocalize any noise, there was a massive gasp when he hit the high fly flow, and then when Shingo kicked out, there was plenty of vocalized noise out of the crowd for that one.
And dude, that was the point that I tweeted the Anchorman gif that I'm in a glass case of emotion because, Shingo is great. I love Shingo. Like, I don't often do, I just love New Japan, so I don't often root for one guy to win over the other. But god damn it, this was Hiroshi Tanahashi, the greatest wrestler of all time, competing, maybe for the last time, competing for the greatest prize in wrestling and the greatest venue in wrestling. And I so badly wanted Tanahashi to take the title one more time. And that high fly flow, oh my god. But yeah, it was not to be, and they continued on with this beautiful match to its conclusion.
So this happens just before the 30-minute call, and I'm like, that was 30 minutes? Holy crap. Shingo hits a desperation Last of the Dragon, but Shingo is so spent, he can't even crawl over to attempt a cover.
That was so good. Because, oh my god, if you watch, and if you're like me, I swear I have watched every single one of these shows since like they came back from the pandemic last year. If Shingo hits Last of the Dragon, that is the end of the match 100% of the time. And it would have been here, but he had nothing left. It just really, just one of those little things that New Japan rewards you for watching and paying attention long term. It's so great. And that was such a like, oh my god, he hit the move that kills everybody. Tanahashi's dead, but oh my god, he can't take advantage. It was just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, so he can't even crawl over just to throw an arm over, and so they both start working their way to their feet. They throw a ton of forearms, and then Tanahashi hits a headbutt that drops Shingo. Shingo eats 2 dragon suplexes, the last one with a bridge for a 2 count. Tanahashi goes up top, Shingo follows, he hits a few headbutts to the chest, and then while they're up on the top rope, they throw forearms, and then a bunch of headbutts, and then one that was way too hard. They just smashed heads. Somebody yelled, "Oh shit!" I have no idea who said that.
No.
I don't know if it was one of the Japanese commentary that was just close enough and it got picked up on the microphone when they just yelled, "Oh shit!" Or it could have been a young lion at ringside. I don't know what young lions were at ringside, so I don't know who normally would speak English. So, anyways, they just bash heads. Shingo then hits a Death Valley driver off the second rope. They called it. Somebody in commentary said it was the Last of the Dragon. It was not. It was Death Valley driver off the second rope. Tanahashi barely kicks out. Commentary is going nuts. Tanahashi smacks Shingo a few times, just paintbrushes. Shingo answers with a massive slap and then a lariat. And then Shingo pulls Tanahashi to his feet, hits the Last of the Dragon, and Shingo retains his IWGP World Heavyweight Championship in what was an awesome 37-minute, 26-second match, which was amazing, and I did not feel like it went 37 minutes at all. This thing felt like it was like an 18-minute match.
I just want to say, God bless Hiroshi Tanahashi. He is the greatest of all time. He is the genius of Keiji Muto and the charisma of Masa Chono and the fighting spirit of Shinya Hashimoto all rolled into one. He is like second only to Antonio Inoki as the essence of New Japan Pro Wrestling. This was just this is the kind of match that just makes you happy to be a wrestling fan. It just, I cannot gush enough. And the thing is, this is going to be my number 2 for match of the year. Because of that goddamn Tokyo Dome match between Jay White and Kota Ibushi. That was so... But this match was insane and beautiful, and I loved every second of it. And if you haven't watched it, get off your ass and go watch it.
And again, I'm going to go to Naito and Hiromu. You can have excellent matches that are safe, except for that one screw up where they bonked heads way too hard. The most like dangerous spot they did was the follow-up Death Valley driver off the second rope. Other than that, this match was worked super safe. Oh, actually, Tanahashi did do the high fly flow off the top rope to the floor, but even then, that was relatively safe. So, I did not fear for either of their lives during this match, and that's probably what made it even more excellent. I wasn't scared that one of them was going to walk out, like, with a broken neck or something.
Yeah. Such a fucking great match.
Post-match, Shingo compliments Tanahashi, saying, you're one of the greatest. He says, we're now 1-1, so let's have the rubber match someday. Yes, please.
Yes.
He then thanks everybody. Shingo's music starts playing, but then it stops. Lights go out. Up on the screen, Dick Togo and Evil.
God
and
damn it.
basically, they say Evil's next. And when the lights come on, Evil standing behind Shingo, attacks him from behind, hits everything as Evil, and that was it. So we're getting Evil challenging Shingo. What did Evil do to even deserve getting a title shot?
He beat Tomohiro Ishii with the interference of Dick Togo and Yujiro, and he's seriously I think he's not they were saying he has a really, really ridiculous, has lost 7 of his last 9 singles matches or something until this one, but and Chris Sampson, who does all the incredible statistics that Kevin Kelly feeds us on commentary, pointed out, I know that New Japan is a call your shot company, but if you look at Evil's record, this is kind of ridiculous. And I think everybody was dude, you could have, and I get that they were going a different direction, but still, you could have put Jeff Cobb over Okada and done Shingo and Jeff Cobb, and that would have been fucking amazing. And instead, I have to watch another fucking Evil main event push. Fuck this.
I hope he gets destroyed so quickly. I hope this
4
ends
minutes.
up... Yeah, exactly. 4 or 5 minutes,
4
and
minutes.
Shingo kills him.
An ass whooping and a Last of the Dragon, and no more main events for Evil ever.
Yeah, see, this is where I really like AEW's rankings, because then at least you can kind of see, okay, this guy at least deserves it.
Yeah, and they do. And people complain incessantly about it, but if you actually understand how rankings work and understand that it figures in the strength of schedule and quality of competition, the ratings actually make complete sense.
So Jay put in the chat here, there are 33 New Japan wrestlers who had wrestled 10 or more singles matches this calendar year, throwing out the 3 Young Lions. That's 30 total. Organize them by win percentage. Evil is 17th. And he has 13th most wins and is second most in losses. Awesome.
Man.
That's what Samsa said. That's what she said.
I guess
yeah.
I guess it's still COVID and we all got to make sacrifices, but God damn it, I don't want to watch Evil wrestling.
So,
and it's not okay. Takaki Watanabe, got nothing against you, dude. I've actually got kind of a soft spot for him because he was on Excursion when I was going to Ring of Honor a lot, so I saw him a lot. Got nothing against the guy, and we've seen, we know he can wrestle. Remember, he just randomly had a 5-star match with Okada, won G1 a couple of years ago. This character and all the Dick Togo bullshit fucking sucks.
Yeah. So, upcoming events to talk about real quick. August 1st, we have Yu Uemura's send-off match. He will be taking on Okada. And then Yota Tsuji, his send-off match is against Tetsuya Naito. So,
The match he's been wanting.
I'm going to watch those. Normally, I don't watch a ton of these undercard matches, but that one I'm going to watch. And then on that same card, the main event is for the Never Openweight 6-Man Championship. Tomohiro Ishii, Yoshi-Hashi, and Hirooki Goto defending their titles against Minoru Suzuki, Zack Sabre Jr., and Taiji.
Got a bad feeling. I think it's over for my boys.
Yeah?
Yeah.
I guess we will see.
Go ahead.
And then on the 7th is we start the Super Junior Tag League. Basically, we have 6 teams in here. We have Tiger Mask and Robbie Eagles. We have Dick Togo and Gato. Why? Master Wado and Taguchi. Kanemaru and El Desperado. El Phantasmo, Taiji Ishimori. And Sho and Yo. That is it. 6 teams. And that is all we have for the Super Junior Tag League 2021.
Hey, it could be worse.
It could be
Jado
worse.
and Gato. It could be Jado and Gato.
Well, yeah. But I mean, when you have to throw in some of these teams, it's like, oh, well, That's gonna.
Oh, come on, man! What? One last run for the Far East Connection. They're gonna take the. Nah, they're gonna suck and lose every match. They'll probably win like I don't know one match. Also, it worth mentioning. Sometime here in very shortly, we're gonna have an IWGP US Heavyweight Title match on Dynamite. The new champion, Lance Archer, gonna defend the title against Hikuleo, and I if they do like a 6-minute brawl, that might be really fun.
Yes, so that's happening in just a couple hours from when we are recording this live, and then when is the show in Los Angeles? Oh, the 14th. So
the 14th.
We will have a never Openweight championship, Jay White versus David Finlay on that match, and that is pretty much the only big match that has been announced so far.
But I assume that there's going to be a U.S. heavyweight title match as well as a strong openweight title match.
Yeah, I mean, Jon Moxley was originally announced for the show, so I'm curious if he's still going to be on the show now that he lost the championship. So we'll see.
I wonder, I don't know. I kind of wonder if they might do a rematch with him and Archer.
That's what I was kind of thinking.
But also, I know they'll get to it eventually, but I want it so bad. Tom Lawler and Jon Moxley, please let me have it.
Yes. That is a match I definitely want to see.
Me too.
All right. And then we go into the MetLife show. That is on September 4th and September 5th. And then when do we actually start the G1 this year? September 18th is when the G1 starts. So we are just about a month and a little more than a half away from the G1 starting in the weird time of the year because of the Olympics going on right now.
And it means it's going to be our anniversary of when we started doing New Japan podcast together. We should get a cake or something.
Yeah, actually, the 2-year anniversary of That's Wrestling is on August 28th or something. So we're about a month away from the 2 years when I started the podcast. And
so I can send us a cake.
All right. Jay says G1 starts on her birthday.
Yay! That's going to be a happy birthday.
All right, you got anything else you want to discuss before we wrap it up here? Dynamite starts in just about a half hour, so.
Very excited for that episode of Dynamite. I don't know, we have 2 matches that have the potential to be mind-blowingly great. We got FTR against Santana and Ortiz and what's been an incredibly well-built match. And then we have our 5-on-5 elimination match with Hangman Page and the Dark Order against the Super Elite. So yeah, I am excited. And like I mentioned, we also have an IWGP US Heavyweight Championship match. I love, man, the Forbidden Door is wide open, and God, we haven't even talked about Jay White showing up in Impact. My God. And Chris Bay apparently joining Bullet Club. God, the world is so exciting right now, man. This is great.
Oh, this is going to be fun. I just saw this on Twitter. Nevada's mask mandate could disrupt WWE's SummerSlam plans. So that could be interesting. And you also forgot Jericho versus Nick Gage.
How the fuck did I forget Jericho versus Nick Gage? Oh my God, I am so excited for this Dynamite.
And the return of Thunder Rosa on Dynamite.
Yeah, she's been on Dark and Elevation, and was also she showed up at Slammiversary to wrestle Deonna Purrazzo for the Impact Women's title. So yeah, man, wrestling is really, really fun right now, guys. It's weird because I have not watched any WWE in 8 or 9 months, but I still Monday night Elevation, Tuesday Dark, Wednesday Dynamite, Thursday Impact, Friday New Japan Strong, and then starting in 2 weeks we're gonna have Rampage.
Yep.
And I am hoping, number one, I'm hoping that nothing happens with the August 18th Dynamite in Houston. And I want they have some weeks they're going to do Friday tapings, and some weeks aren't. So I am hoping that week I will in fact get to get a live Dynamite and a Rampage taping. So hopeful that COVID is, we thought we were, too many people thought that we were closer to the end than we were, that everything's kind of getting refucked up again now, and we don't really know what's going to happen, but
yeah, hey, I have tickets to the October 27th show, which was originally the April 15th, 2020 show, which then got scheduled to the August 8th, 2020 show, that then got scheduled to the April something 2021 show, that then got scheduled to the September 8th show 2021, that is now the October 27th, 2021 in Boston, and I'm guessing Massachusetts would be one of the first states to pull the plug, especially Boston. Boston was one of the earliest cities to pull the plug on big events. Funny thing is, the reason it was rescheduled from September 8th is because they used the Agganis Arena, which is part of Boston University, and they wanted to use it during that on that day for COVID vaccinations for the student population. So that's why it was pushed, not because there was a problem, but it was basically the university's like, we need the space to vaccinate all of our students.
Luckily, I live in Texas, where the entire government is stupid and irresponsible. So, yeah, hopefully we'll be good to go.
All right. So let's wrap it up here. Thanks everybody for listening to the That's Wrestling podcast. If you're listening to this as a podcast, we do this show live over on Twitch and YouTube. So come join us. You can throw stuff in the comments and we can address those. If you have any comments, question, feedback, anything for a mailbag, you can send those to Eric at that'swrestling.com. You can follow us on Twitter at that'swrestling1 with the number 1. I did message the dude who has That's Wrestling. He never got back to me, and he hasn't touched it since like 2012, which is kind of a bummer. Comments, question, you got all that. Links and show notes. Discord is in the show notes, and you can follow Trae at WrestleIsm on the Twitter. So for Trae Wisecarver, my name is Eric LaRoche. You've been watching and listening to That's Wrestling. See you later, guys.